Alright, just a quick little update video here. Since last time I made a video, I probably had the Miata and the Skyline. I sold the Miata. I did sell the Skyline. Didn't think I'd ever do it, but put it up for sale for $22,000 and ended up getting an offer for $21,000 if I put the black wheels on it, which I paid like $300 for, and took the RPF ones off of it, and talked to the kid for a week or two, set something up, showed up, liked it, gave me $21,000 cash, so Skyline's gone. I paid $12,000 for it just under 2 years ago. I daily drove it both summers I owned it, every single day as long as it wasn't snowing. So I mean, I got my money's worth out of it. Put a couple $100 in, upgrades into it, nothing crazy. I bought the RPF ones for $1,000. I kept those. I bought the turbo for $1,500. I kept that. I still got some parts up there I gotta get rid of from it. Still got the Gretty intake manifold here too. So I mean, I sold just the car the way it sat with the wheels. Sold the Miata for $5,000, I believe. And yeah, so before I sold the Skyline, I bought another car that I used to own. Some of you will probably remember it. The old Civic. Got the old Civic back. It's been just under, a little over maybe, 2 years ago I sold this car to a friend of mine. And then he only had it for like 2 or 3 months. And then he sold it to another kid who got a hold of me, asking me if I built this car. He had some questions about it. I told him right away, if you ever want to sell it, I got cash. He's like, I'll never sell it, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to a couple weeks back. I sent him a picture of some money. Said, when do you want to sell that Civic? He said, come get it. Agreed on a price, and here it is. So a couple things have changed since I sold the car. Nothing crazy, but I'll go over the little things for the people that do remember this car. I bought a brand new hood for it. It was just black and needed paint. So the kid I sold it to just had it wrapped in carbon fiber. I don't know. I guess it looks better than that dull, unpainted hood. Okay, so a couple more small things have changed under the hood. Nothing crazy. Very small things like this Password JDM strut brace up here. That was added. Fuel pressure gauge. I did have one, I believe, on the regulator, but this is a new one. Everything else is the same. Valve cover was repowder coated this purple color. It used to match the catch can, which is like a much darker purple with some sparkle, but now this is a brighter purple, I guess. And I believe that's the only thing that has changed under the hood. Very small stuff. Whatever. And then outside of the car, it had black Rhoda slips on it. Well, they were polished. I painted them black. It now has RPF ones in really good shape. It doesn't have the 888s on it no more. It has 205 5015 Toyo Proxies R1Rs, which apparently are supposed to be pretty good tires, but not when they're a 205 50. These things do not hook whatsoever. They spin third, like my Neogens that are still in the back. They're terrible. I mean, maybe in the summer when the roads are hot, they'll be a little bit better, but my R888Rs that I had on this did much better than these, and they were also like 225 55s. So these got to go and get some meatier tires on it. But it's got RPF ones on it now. It also has these CCC Racing aluminum side skirts that are wrapped in carbon fiber. Sun might be too bright on that side, but just those. Other than that, everything under the hood and outside the car, that's how it was when I sold it. I did put this carbon fiber antenna delete on. Came kind of damaged. It was a cheap one. I already had a block off on there, but why not carbon fiber? And then inside the car, the only things that have changed are these LRB aluminum door panels, which they were just bare aluminum, and I wrapped them myself in carbon fiber just to kind of darken it up. Didn't like the whole bare aluminum look, so I wrapped them on both sides. It's a mess in here. I've been installing things and doing whatever, but So a couple more things. I have the plastic piece off. I was wiring up some gauges, but the only thing that changed inside was he changed the steering wheel to this Momo instead of the what I have in here, NRG. He changed it to this, which is a nicer wheel, but it's too small in diameter for me, and it doesn't have that dish to it. And then he put a K-tune shift knob in it. Other than the door panels, the shift knob, and the steering wheel, everything inside has been the same as when I sold it. But since I have got it back, I have so far wrapped the door panels because I didn't like the whole bright brushed aluminum look. I put some roll cage padding in some spots that are important. I put the gauges up here instead of having them over here. I had my wideband right here, so I got some plexiglass, wrapped it in carbon fiber, made a little block-off plate, cleaned that up a little bit, and then I put my wideband here, and then I also picked up the X Series boost gauge because I was running that like SRT4 boost gauge zip tied to the cage right here, and it was never accurate. And then I also just put the little carbon fiber overlay in the cluster there. I don't know. Whatever. Just little things like that. And then I also put the NRG short hub with the white quick release because white just looks, I don't know, I'm a sucker for it. But when I got the car back, the steering wheel was too far forward. Like, just turning to make a turn, I would hit my knuckles on the turn signals and I'd be hitting those. So, and this thing never had a quick release in it, it's always needed one. And then with the hubs, it also spaced the wheel back toward me further, so it's a little bit more comfortable. So now that I've done that, the size of the wheel being so small doesn't bother me as much as it did. I actually kind of like it, but I still want to go a little bit bigger just because looking through this to see the gauges, it's just, I don't know, I can't really read them that well. And the whole point of putting them right here is to be right in front of my face to read them good. So I might change the wheel up. But other than that, the interior hasn't changed. A little bit dirty. It's been sitting here for a few weeks. It's been cold and snowing and doing all that stuff. And it's a mess because I've been working on things in here. But yeah, that's the inside. And then I'll go over a couple more things I picked up for the car for this spring. So some of you might remember, some might not. I might not have even covered it. The exhaust on this thing is a MagnaFlow 3-inch muffler with this Amazon exhaust hanger hose clamp thing that broke like a week after I got it, but I ghetto rigged it to keep holding it up with a charge pipe extension bolted to the muffler to make it reach. I mean, it's held up fine, but this muffler, there's no resonator, nothing on this thing. It's just straight 3-inch to this muffler. It's loud. It sounds like a Civic. It sounds disgusting. So the first thing I bought when I got the car back was this Vibrant 3-inch resonator. It's called like the ultra quiet version or whatever. And then I picked up the Speed Factory muffler with the turn down built onto it. So at some point I'm going to pull the exhaust off, take it in, have that put in the middle, have that put in with real hangers, so I never have to worry about the exhaust again, and it should sound a lot better and less Civic-y with the raspiness and the high pitch and all that stuff. But that won't be till this winter, like midwinter into the spring. Then I also picked up this RSX 5-speed trans because the 6-speed is just too short for the gearing that I have, or for the power it makes. It just spins third. I can only do 115 miles an hour in fourth gear versus like 130, 140. This will do like 138, I believe, in fourth gear. So I'm still kind of debating though, because the EP3 5-speed's a better ratio final drive for this versus that. People say that might be too long of a gear. I don't know yet, but I still have to buy a diff because this is an open diff trans in here still. So I'm debating if I want to just put the diff in the 6-speed, hope for the best, get used to it, and just run fifth out sometimes, or put the diff in that and just hope it works out well with the power and the gearing. But that's that. Skyline's gone, Miata's gone, Civic's back. When I got this car like 5 years ago, I bought it as a bare shell. I swapped in my K-Series from my EG into this, drove it for a year all motor. Then I bought the supercharger kit, put that on, got it tuned, did all that. Drove that for like 2 years, sold it 2 years ago, got it back. So this is like the first car that like I built myself from like scratch. Like I mean, yeah, I got the shell with like suspension and a cage and everything in it, but from the firewall forward, everything drivetrain wise I've done myself. Not a single person has touched anything else. I mean, yeah, I had some help with like small things, like a buddy welded in the bung for my IAT sensor, like small things like that, but everything else I did myself. So this car was like kind of special to me. It was the most horsepower I ever made with a car. I did it all by myself in my garage, like. So this car actually, like, I missed it when I sold it. I don't know exactly what it makes for power. All I do know is the guy I got the kit from had this kit on a bone stock K20A2 just like this. On 14 pounds on E85 it made 450. On pump gas it made 399. That was on 14 pounds. I went to the dyno, and the dyno itself wasn't like calibrated. So the numbers it was spitting out were pretty useless to us. We were just using the dyno as like a tool to tune it, but we weren't really getting any numbers out of it. It stopped showing RPMs on the graph at like 6,000, and it was already making like 380 something. So I don't know what it makes, but that was also on 14 pounds, and now it's on 19 pounds. So I mean, in theory, it should be anywhere 450 to 500. I mean, it shouldn't be anything less than 450, considering it made that on the last motor on 14 pounds, and we're on 19 pounds now. I did take this thing to the track. I made 3 passes. First pass was 11.4 at 125, and that's with an open diff, 23-inch slicks. It needs bigger slicks, 24.5s. It needs a diff. So I mean, it was spinning a lot first, second gear. So I mean, it should hit a 10. My goal, when I said I was getting this car back, I wanted to turbocharge it. I said when I got it, I'm going to pull it straight in the garage, pull the supercharger kit off, turbocharge it. But now, my goal is I really want to run a 10-second pass with the supercharger and then pull it off and go turbo. Like, I know it'll do it. I just need the diff, the bigger slicks, and either the 5-speed or do it with the 6-speed. But I know it'll do it. I just need to do it. I'm to the point where when I owned this car before, I was like scared. Oh, I don't want to go to the track too many times and like blow it up or break the trans or do whatever. Now that I sold it and got it back, like I don't care if this motor blows up tomorrow. I expected it to not even survive the dyno 3 years ago, and it's still going after 2 different owners and then back to me. So I mean, it's like I'll go to the track, try for a 10. If the supercharger breaks, big deal. If I blow a trans, big deal. Motor explodes, big deal. Whatever, we'll come back with a built motor or something else. So now I really want to push this thing to get like a 1090 pass, and then I'll be happy with the supercharger setup, and I'll swap it out for, you know, a turbo setup. But that's this. This is back. So if I have any videos I can transfer over, I'll put some pulls from when I had this thing last, because I've only done a couple pulls in it since I got it back. It's been really cold, and these tires don't hook. But I'll throw some in there if I can find them from older videos. But yeah, this is back, and then I also picked up a winter beater, which I'll show you. I don't know if anybody's interested in me doing any videos on that or not, but it's a 2001 Honda CR-V, all-wheel drive, 5-speed. Two key fobs with this baby, like 197,576 miles. Interior, other than like my mess, immaculate. Super clean. Got the old car seat thingy back there. Everything. The only thing is that rain guard right there is broken. It's got aftermarket whatever, Bluetooth, radio, and all that junk. Tweeters, aftermarket speakers everywhere. Pretty nice. Got the old 5-speed in it. So I mean, not a bad rig. Runs good, drives really nice. I'm just gonna drive it through the wintertime. Plow through. Oh my god, look at this dog hair. I just walked past my dog. This is how much he's shedding right now. Anyways, we'll take a look outside quick. Turn the LEDs on the light bar on just to show you. The roof rack, all that junk. Just stupid stuff just to make it look, you know, like a Jeep wannabe. And the spare tire cover I bought. Take a look at that stuff quick. So I put the Weston bar on the front. Those suckers. Keyless to get in, fancy. Still has the old picnic table. It's got a cargo cover too that goes back here that I took out because I was hauling some stuff to my storage unit, but I put the spare tire cover on it. Here's the roof rack. Big old basket. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've really done. The Weston bar in the front, the LEDs, the roof basket, spare tire cover. The only other thing I really plan on doing to this thing is throw some wheels on it, lift the rear end just a little bit to level it out, and possibly an exhaust system, just something like quiet, but just enough to, you know, let her sing in the snow a little bit. And then I also put an intake on it because it's a B20. So it has that B20. If you know B series and B20s, how hard they grunt through the intake when you're Watt, this thing does it. It's funny because it's an SUV and it chirps second gear. So I can just grunt hard, chirp second, and I mean, it's not fast by any means, but it's kind of funny. So I just feel like a high schooler again having this thing. I bought it as just a winter daily and told myself I'm not going to do a single thing to it. Changed the oil right away. Drove too nice. I was just telling myself, just drive it through winter, don't spend a dime on it. Use it as a, you know, get to work and back car. And then like 4 days after I got it, here I am spending like $700 on Amazon for the bar, the lights, the roof rack, spare tire cover, just a bunch of dumb shit that I told myself I wasn't going to buy. I just can't resist. So, because it's wintertime, what else am I going to do? I mean, I got a bunch of stuff to buy for the Civic and do for that, but can't do anything with it till spring, so have some fun with this thing. I'll do a before with the stock airbox, I'll rev it up or whatever, and then I'll do an after with the intake. Like right now I'm in second. $3,000. Doesn't really grunt with the stock intake. Can't have that. Oh, chirp tires in second.